You think intimacy ends the moment it's over, but what happens next is where the real story begins, and most men will never see it coming. Welcome to Talia Talks Love, where we uncover the hidden truths of attraction and intimacy. Today we're diving into what really happens emotionally and psychologically when a man releases inside, and why it leaves a deeper impact than most ever realize. The emotional aftermath of intimacy is often far deeper than most realize. The physical act may end, but what follows is a cascade of subtle, powerful feelings that linger in the mind and body. At the exact moment of release, the body experiences a mix of vulnerability and relief, and this combination opens a door to trust and emotional connection. It's not just about pleasure. It's about a sense of being fully seen and accepted in a moment of complete openness. The mind registers this as safety, creating a lasting impression that goes beyond the physical experience. Small gestures after the act, a calm presence, gentle touch, or soft words amplify this effect, making the connection feel more intense and meaningful. The subconscious mind links the memory of the act with emotional security, which is why moments like this often feel heavy, reflective, and unforgettable. Even without words, the energy and attention conveyed communicate care, acknowledgement, and respect, creating an imprint that resonates long after the physical interaction ends. Understanding this emotional layer is key to recognizing that intimacy is not just a physical exchange, but a profound psychological experience that can strengthen trust, closeness, and connection. The psychological impact of intimacy goes far beyond the moment itself. When the act reaches its peak, the mind registers more than just physical sensation. It processes trust, vulnerability, and connection on a deep level. The release triggers a flood of emotions, even if they aren't fully conscious, creating a sense of closeness and attachment that is hard to articulate. Subtle cues like attention, presence, and responsiveness during the act communicate messages to the subconscious, reinforcing feelings of safety and acceptance. This is why the same physical act can feel completely different depending on how it is approached and experienced emotionally. The brain links the act with the emotions present at that time, meaning that care, attentiveness, and emotional attunement amplify the experience, while distraction or detachment can diminish it. Hormones like oxytocin reinforce this process, creating neurological pathways that associate the experience with bonding, trust, and connection. Even brief moments of eye contact, gentle touches, or soft words can have an outsized effect on how the experience is remembered. In essence, the psychological impact is the invisible layer that transforms a purely physical act into a meaningful, memorable experience, shaping emotions and attachment in subtle but lasting ways. Trust and vulnerability are at the core of the emotional experience during intimacy, and they extend far beyond what most people notice. Allowing someone that close is a profound act of faith, a silent declaration that it's safe to let go and be seen without judgment. This level of openness triggers deep emotional responses, creating a sense of security and connection that the mind registers long after the physical moment ends. Vulnerability isn't weakness. It's a signal that the emotional bond is strong enough to handle honesty and exposure. The way attention is given during this time through presence, care, and subtle gestures reinforces that trust, making the experience feel meaningful and validating. Every small action communicates messages to the subconscious, showing that the connection is safe, respectful, and acknowledged. When trust is honored, the emotional resonance can be profound, leaving a lasting impression that is both comforting and bonding. Conversely, any neglect, distraction, or lack of attentiveness can undermine this trust, weakening the psychological impact. The balance between giving and receiving attention in these moments creates a feedback loop where emotional closeness deepens and the mind remembers not just the act itself, but the sense of being valued, accepted, and understood on a fundamental, intimate level. The shift in energy after intimacy is subtle but powerful, influencing emotions and the overall connection in ways most people overlook. At the moment of release, the body relaxes, breathing slows, and tension melts away, creating a natural calm that spreads through the mind. This change in state is more than physical. It signals a transition from intensity to reflection, a moment where emotions can surface freely. Calmness, contentment, or even a sense of emotional weight often follows. And these feelings are heightened by the awareness of closeness and shared vulnerability. The energy shift communicates without words, showing acceptance, safety, and presence in a way that the subconscious deeply registers. It can also reinforce feelings of attachment, creating an invisible bond that lingers beyond the physic. I'll act. Small actions during this post-release period, such as lingering touches, gentle eye contact, or soft words, can amplify this energy, turning a fleeting moment into a meaningful emotional imprint. Conversely, a lack of attention or abrupt disengagement can break the rhythm, weakening the sense of connection. Understanding this energy shift is crucial because it's the psychological signal that transforms physical intimacy into a deeper emotional experience, shaping how the act is remembered and how trust and closeness continue to develop afterward. The subconscious bonding that occurs during intimacy is one of the most powerful but often unnoticed effects of the experience. At the moment of release, hormones like oxytocin flood the system, creating a natural sense of attachment and closeness. This chemical response doesn't just make someone feel good physically, it imprints a sense of emotional safety and connection deep in the mind. The subconscious begins to link the physical act with feelings of trust, comfort, and acceptance, forming a memory that can influence emotions and behaviors long afterward. Even small gestures like a gentle touch, lingering presence, or a soft word are registered by the subconscious as signals of care and affirmation, strengthening this bond. The mind doesn't just remember the physical sensation, it remembers the emotional context, the energy, and the way attention was given and received. Over time, these subtle imprints accumulate, shaping how closeness is experienced and how future interactions are interpreted. This bonding mechanism explains why moments of intimacy can feel profoundly memorable, sometimes even life-changing, because the subconscious associates safety, trust, and emotional connection with the experience. Recognizing this helps in understanding that intimacy is not just about pleasure. It's about creating a lasting, invisible link that resonates long after the physical moment has ended. Nonverbal communication during intimacy is often more powerful than words, carrying messages that the conscious mind may not even notice. Every movement, touch, and shift in energy conveys meaning, sending signals of care, attention, and connection. A lingering hand, a gentle embrace, or the way one stays present in the moment communicates trust, affirmation, and emotional closeness without a single word being spoken. The body becomes a language of its own, translating emotions into subtle cues that are deeply registered by the subconscious. Even brief eye contact, or the way breath and tension change, can express reassurance, desire, or attentiveness. These nonverbal cues amplify the psychological and emotional impact of the experience, reinforcing feelings of safety, trust, and attachment. When attention and presence are maintained after the act, the subconscious interprets this as validation and care, strengthening the bond created in that intimate moment. Conversely, disengagement, distraction, or rushed movements can signal disinterest or neglect, weakening the emotional imprint. Understanding this silent language is crucial because it shapes how the experience is remembered, how emotional closeness is felt, and how trust and attachment continue to grow. In essence, the nonverbal signals are the invisible threads that weave a lasting connection beyond the physical act. At the end of the day, intimacy is never just about the physical moment. It's a gateway into emotions, trust, and connection that run far deeper than most realize. Every action, every pause, every touch before, during, and after leaves a lasting impression on the subconscious, creating memories that linger long after the body has relaxed. The release itself is just the starting point. It's the emotional aftermath, the subtle shifts in energy, and the unspoken communication that truly define the experience. Awareness, presence, and care in these moments can transform a fleeting encounter into a profound connection, one that builds trust, closeness, and even subconscious attachment. Understanding the psychology behind this is a game changer because it shows that real intimacy is not a single act. It's a series of conscious and unconscious signals, gestures, and attentiveness that communicate safety, respect, and emotional real alignment. Those who recognize this, who approach intimacy with awareness and presence, leave a mark that is remembered, cherished, and felt far beyond the physical moment. In essence, it's not just what happens in the act that matters, it's everything before, during, and after, and how every subtle detail shapes the emotional and psychological bond that endures. If you enjoyed uncovering these hidden truths of intimacy, don't forget to like, subscribe, and hit the bell for more insights from Talia Talks Love. And drop the word connection in the comments so I know you felt the depth of this.